and welcome to another episode of Blueprints Podcast.
Listen, social media is a great tool. If you have a business and you're not using social media to your advantage, you're missing out on a lot of business.
Man, you don't seem to want to stop anytime soon.
Why stop? You have to listen. With business, things can change in a matter of minutes. You're on top of the world tomorrow, you're at the bottom the next day. Things cannot be perfect all the time, and you have to be able to bend but not break.
All right, y'all. Our special guest today is Mr. Torrence Mack of TDM Technologies. His company specializes in teaching seniors technology, how to use their smartphones, their tablets, their laptops, their iPads, all that good stuff. So we're going to chop it up with him today and kind of get a glance at his journey, some of the obstacles he's faced, some of the triumphs that he's had, and where TDM is going to go in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Sound good?
Oh, sounds great.
All right, man. Well, welcome, Torrence Mack.
All right. Thank you, Mr. David Campo. I think we've known each other at least 4 years. In passing, doing some events together and also being in some of the same circles.
Yeah.
So a little bit about TDM. I started this company about 2000, I think it was about 2017. I had just got back from D.C. I was a certified ethical hacker for the government in D.C., and I got kind of bored of that, and there were some other side stories in that, but we'll stick with that. So I came back to Palm Beach County, and I think I was working at the City Hall of Palm Beach County, and I got a little bored, and I walked to a Best Buy store, and there was a seasoned individual, which I call seniors. She was beating up her smartphone, having some difficulty with her smartphone. She looked kind of frustrated, so I looked at her. I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Oh, I hate this thing." So I took her outside voluntarily, sat on a park bench, and I was showing her some things on her phone. And she said, "Oh my gosh, you're amazing. You should do this as a business." So little light bulbs went off in my head. My dad, he's an entrepreneur. He has an accounting firm for about 55 years now. So he's self-employed, and all the other things that I've done, I've been self-employed. I've been a bail bondsman. I've been an Uber driver that me and David were talking about. I owned a pawn shop, and I've done all kind of little things. So my entrepreneurial mind just went off that quick, and I said, man, maybe I should do something with this. So I put an ad in the Palm Beach Post newspaper, and I said, man, I think there's about 1,000 people are going to call me. But one lady called me, but she owned 20 condominiums. So I started helping her friends, and our first class had 100 people show up. And I said, man, I really have something here. But I didn't know how to get paid for it. So
So at this point, you weren't charging for them?
No, I didn't know. Remember, I had 100 people, and I was just so excited to, the opportunity. So I was there for about 5 hours. Because you imagine 100 seniors having issues and all different types of things. And so I was there about 5 hours, didn't charge anything, excited. But then I knew I had to pay my phone bill and pay these other bills. So there was a young lady that worked for a Medicare Advantage company. I'm not going to say who that is. But she quit her job and started working for me. She said, there's an opportunity here, and we can really make this thing a very large thing. And so she started working for me. So she started introducing me to all the other Medicare Advantage companies, which you know as all of those companies. I don't even need to say that on the air, but all the different companies. And before long, I started doing classes. It started about 5 a week, and then they got into 20, 30, and 40, and 50 a week. And at that particular point, obviously, before that, I know I had to hire some people. And then the bilingual element came in. There were people that speak Spanish and some people that speak English. So I had to hire people that spoke a variety of different languages. And that's where it took off.
Gee, so 2017, so 7, 8 years ago?
Yes. It'll be going on 8 years right now.
Oh, man. And to give us a little bit of a background before all that stuff, who was little T Mac?
Man, so little T Mac, my first love was baseball. I was a baseball player, optimist, and I played a little high school, and I played high school football, of course, and I played a little college baseball. Then I had a little minor league gig. I did minor league ball for a couple of years with the Dodgers organization. And then after that, I just went to school. I wasn't very good in college. I didn't focus much. So, but I knew a lot of different things. And when I walked off of the college campus, I popped up at my dad's office. One day I was in school in Tallahassee. I walked off the campus, drove all the way to Miami, Florida, walked into his office, and he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, man, college is not for me. I'm not into college or anything. And then he said, well, you can start working for me. So I'm going through my whole life. I was sort of like an accountant. My dad used to have me on the floor counting receipts and doing all type of things as a youngster. So I knew the business, but I really wasn't interested. So one day there was a gentleman that came by that was there to fix the computer. So he gave my dad the bill, and I saw the bill. I said, man, he charged all that for this? And he said, yes. So I started following the guy around, the computer guy. He used to take me to different locations, had me up in the attic, crawling up in the attic, wiring systems and all that type of things. And so that's what brought me into the IT realm.
How much was that bill? Do you remember?
Oh, man, it was about $3,500. And that was in like 1993. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all you saw was dollar signs.
Yeah, I saw dollar signs. I said, man, I need to do what this guy does. Because it didn't seem like he was doing much. He was just moving stuff around, doing programs. It just didn't seem like a big deal. But I really credit, his name was Steven. He took me under his arm and took me all these different places to do computers. He gave me a lot of knowledge. And then, of course, I went back to school for that. And I drew a lot of interest in the IT field. And that's what got me to where I am.
So when did you start? So walk us through like the career path. I know you mentioned quite a few things there.
Oh, yeah.
But
so, okay.
After that, what was like the first gig outside of your father's accounting?
Okay, so the first
business?
gig out of that would have been like 1993. I became a bail bondsman. Okay. I was a bail bondsman, so I would bond people out of jail and they don't go to court. I would kick in the door and take them back to jail. It was a pretty interesting profession. I did that for about 10 years. And all along I was still doing IT work on the side, doing all of this at the same time. So that was just really something that I really enjoyed doing. It was kind of like gig work back then. And then after I did that, during that time I had a little pawn shop in the Deerfield Beach area. I only had that a brief period. And then I had a medical management company. There was a lady that was a friend of my father and I's. Her husband had just passed away, and she owned like 15 group homes, group homes for the developmentally disabled. Mm-hmm. So she needed somebody to help her run it because her husband died. So that opportunity just dropped in my lap. And so I took it on and did that for 10 years. So I was a bail bondsman then. I was a group home medical management, doing group home medical management, as well as doing IT at the same time. And then I fit a little Uber in there. So I was doing all of that during that period of time.
What?
Yeah.
So when did you sleep? When did you have family
sleep.
time? When did you?
I didn't have family time. Unfortunately, I didn't. I have a 39-year-old daughter, a 21-year-old son, and a 15-year-old son. So they always knew their dad was someone that was on the, always hustling and grinding and everything like that.
Did any one of your kids follow in your footsteps?
Well, my youngest son, he probably wants to do a little bit more IT, as opposed to my other kids. My middle son looks the most like me, but as far as my motivation for career paths is probably be my youngest son. He's more like me.
And what did the others do?
My daughter's a school teacher in Atlanta, Georgia. My middle son, he's a senior at Rutgers University. He'll be graduating this year.
In Jersey?
Yep, in Jersey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's there. Then my youngest one lives in Miami.
Oh, he's 15. So
yeah, he's 15. He's a 10th grader.
Yeah. He's still got a long
he got a long way to go, but he's quite inquisitive. He asked me all these different type of questions. Actually, the 2 weeks before he went back to school, I took him on the road with me. He was on the road going all these places doing classes for a whole week. Yeah, so I had him ride with me in the car all week.
Oh, so he's getting a sense for...
Yeah, exactly what it is. And like I mentioned back to the business, when I first got the business started, I was strictly in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. But I found out there was starting to be a trend of a lack of classes, and my other staff can pretty much maintain those, and that's when I started to trend northward, coming towards Central Florida, then West Florida, then North Florida, and beyond, because I'm in 6 states now.
Man, you're about to be national, Torrence.
Yeah, well, I really want to be in just the Southeast, but every time I say that, another state comes along.
You can't say no, right?
You can't say no. The opportunity knocks, and I generally drive all these places in my car. I'm trending on getting a van that I obviously can sleep in, because now when I'm on the road, sometimes I sleep in my car.
Really?
To cut down on lodging expense. Lodging is very expensive, and I have staff. I still have to pay my staff to do all the other classes, so sometimes the boss has to just suffer a little bit to make amends.
That's the price you got to pay, right, to be the boss.
That's right, the cost to be the boss. It's so funny. Last week, I sent one of my staff out of town, and I had to put him in a hotel. And I was in another city, and I was sleeping in my car while he was in a hotel.
Oh, man, that's the price of entrepreneurship.
Yes, it is.
For those of y'all who don't know, usually you have to sacrifice something so other people can have.
The ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man. So then how did you get involved with the whole, was it hacker thing that you mentioned?
Well, basically, when I went to D.C., I just applied for certain jobs, and they looked at my background, and they had me at desktop support with NIH, National Institutes of Health. But when I got there, they found out that I had a lot of other skills. So basically, it's like a college campus. NIH is like a college campus. A lot of people come there from all over the world. And so when they come in to the college campus of NIH, all their devices need to be scanned to make sure there's nothing in there, any kind of viruses or anything that would try to get on the government network. So we used to have to physically break into those systems and make sure there was nothing that was malware or anything related to getting the government system. And then when they went back to their corresponding countries, of course, we put something in their systems as well to take back.
And so what administration was this that you did all that stuff with?
Oh, man, who was president then? Was that Obama? No, that was, 17. No, who was president in 17?
Oh,
it was Obama.
No. 17?
I believe, yeah, that was his second term. I believe so.
No, so when was, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yes,
2017, it was Obama.
Yes.
It was, oh, man. So did you ever meet him?
No, I've never met him, but I've met Dr. Fauci, the president of NIH. I did some work in his room before, set up some systems for him and stuff. So pretty interesting.
And you did that for how many years?
I only did that for a short period of time, like 6 months, because I could, it got a little boring, and I didn't want to do that. And the thing about DC, it gets cold there. And I'm from Florida. It gets cold, and it was too cold for me. So I decided to, get back to the warmth.
So you born and raised in where?
Born and raised in Miami, Florida. That's home. Miami, Florida.
Oh, man. Did you have aspirations to play MLB? Because I know you said you played
I wanted to,
minor.
But it's all about who you know and what you know. I had an open tryout with the Marlins their inaugural season, but I did not make it, actually.
What position did you play?
I played first base and outfield. I was a very good outfielder, but I hurt my shoulder playing football, and I had to come into the infield. Yes.
Oh, man. What position did you play in football?
Fullback.
Oh, fullback. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was going to assume running back or fullback.
Yeah, I was pretty good. The grades were the thing. Like I told you, I'm not that good of a student. No. So that kept me from getting a lot of football scholarships. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. You didn't have a chance to play JUCO?
No, I didn't want to. At that time, I got injured, and I didn't want to mess around with football. I just wanted to play baseball at that particular juncture.
Man. Yeah, I had a couple buddies that played, and some of them went JUCO, and then some of them went D1.
Right.
But none of them ever made it to the pros.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough. You have to know somebody that gets you in and everything. So that's connections is where it's at.
Does baseball have a higher percentage of probability of you getting into the pros?
Oh, obviously right now it's a lot bigger now because they have so many farm systems now. So many teams, a lot easier to get into football. It's a lot easier now. So many more opportunities in baseball now. Yes. Back then, not so much, but now it's opened up. It's a lot more opportunity in baseball.
Really? Yes. Oh, that's interesting. My kid plays basketball right now.
No. Oh, man, that's one in a million.
It's hard to get yeah, it's hard to get in there, man. But he loves it. I want to get him into something else, but I don't know. He's 12 now.
Yeah, that's that age where they think they all can be Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Me and my younger son argue about the difference between LeBron and Jordan every day. We fuss about that.
Who's your GOAT?
I'm Jordan all day. Yeah. He's LeBron all day. And we fuss about stats and send each other YouTube videos. And oh, man, we go at it all day.
About all the broadcasters arguing about
and then there's little videos that people make about LeBron versus Jordan and all this other kind of stuff.
So prior to you starting in TDM, how long did you do Uber for? Was that when you did Uber? Was it before the regular?
It was a pretty mix because it was really just before actually, because at that time I lived in Palm Beach, and what I did, I lived in Palm Beach, so I would come to Miami every day and that's a lot of time when I was working with my dad at the office because it's tax, income tax and accounting, so I still do that. But tax season is the first 4 months of the year. So I was living in Palm Beach, and then I would drive all the way down to the office. And on the way back, I would do Uber on the way up, from Miami all the way and I would take the road. So I know one of the popular roads to get off was Atlantic Avenue. You get off Atlantic Avenue and go east, you pick up rides all along the way. and then you take down A1A all the way down. And I lived at that time, I think I lived in Jupiter at that time. So I would take A1A all the way, you have rides all the way down. And you would put the Uber app to just say, I want to get rides only going north. And then you pick up a lot of rides.
So you would get paid literally to go home?
Oh, yeah, literally to go home. And if you weren't in no rush, you say, I need to go home in a couple hours. It was not a problem. So it was pretty interesting. It was a hustle. Back then, Uber, you made a lot more money in Uber. Now they're not making anything. Back then, I was cleaning up on Uber.
Really?
I was cleaning up, yeah.
And Miami's a busy city. Those counties down there, they're really...
Dade, Broward, and then Palm Beach. And then sometime you're in Palm Beach, you get somebody wants to ride to Fort Lauderdale Airport. Used to make $100 taking that trip. Now it's like $45. Used to be $100. And if you were going to Miami, you make it $200.
What?
It's a big difference. Things were different. I also was doing some other gigs. I was doing Uber. Then I was doing an app called Roadie. You ever heard of Roadie?
No, what's that?
So Roadie is at the airport when people leave their luggage. They used to call us. We pick their luggage up from the airport and take it to their homes. That was Roadie. Oh, we made some good money with Roadie. And then also I used to do Shipped. You ever heard of Shipped?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, so that's when you do grocery shopping or go to stores and buy things for people.
Yeah.
So I did all three at the same time. I had 3 phones. Whichever one alerted you, I turned the other ones off. So that means I did Uber, Lyft, Roadie, and Shipped all at the same time. So if one app hit, I turned all the other ones off. Yeah. And then when I did that one, I turned them all on.
So how important was time management for you when you did that? Because, I mean, you're saying that you had 3-4 gigs.
It was rough. Well, it was kind of rough, but you maintained and did what you have to do, put everything down in perspective of how you want to do things. It wasn't too tough, but it had its difficulty. Yeah, but money's green.
Those deposits are all good, right?
Yes, it is all the time, right?
All the positives are great.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what are some of the challenges that you faced before you opened up TDM? In the accounting, in the Uber, in the, doing IT, what are some of the challenges you face going into the industry and then kind of like staying relevant?
Yeah, well, as far as the IT is concerned, the thing about technology, it changes every day. There's all different type of changes of technology, and specifically back then, there were so many different types of technology. At that time, smartphones were popular, but they weren't as relevant as they are now. So you have people with laptops, you have some with iPhones and Androids, of course, and you had the computers. And there was a lot of upgrading going on at that time. So they have a lot of network systems. And so you always had to learn that stuff. And there was not as much education out there as there is now. Now you just go to YouTube and figure out how to do anything. Back then you didn't have that. So you had to go really study your craft and know what you're doing. And now it's so much easier for kids are becoming millionaires just by posting YouTube videos now. Back then, it wasn't happening at all.
It's streaming on Twitch.
Yeah. And all
playing
that.
Video games.
There you go, all day, and people paying to do video games. And then you have your monetized. People are putting commercials on your page and all different types of things. You're presenting a certain type of water in your YouTube, so you're getting paid for that. Things have changed quite a bit.
Sponsorships. Blueprint's looking for sponsorships. So if you guys know anybody who needs some sponsorships, we might get TDM out here.
Yes.
Put something on one of these shelves.
That's right, most definitely. Actually, I do have a YouTube channel that I'm trying to promote, that when I travel to all these cities and states, I try to do little videos and presentations wherever I go. Like if I'm going to Ocala's known as horse country, I might do a little footage of the area. It's really hard to do a consistent YouTube channel. You have to always have all of the cameras at the right place. Then you have to have time because you have to put it all together. But with the creation of AI, that's gotten a lot easier because you can just throw your videos in and it automatically puts together a video for you. So AI has changed the game quite a bit.
AI is there's a lot of stuff that I've done in ChatGPT and in Grok and all those other platforms and apps, and it's amazing what it does with a click of a button, with a couple of little prompts.
Most definitely,
it'll just spit out information so quickly, and it's just amazing to use. I think it's going to facilitate a lot of things, and I think it might put people out of jobs.
And most definitely, especially in your industry, there's a lot of people in your industry that don't know how to use it. That's a whole market within themselves. So I'm starting to push some AI consulting services for healthcare agents and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm working on that. So I can do trainings for them to get them introduced, because a lot of them still have hangups with social media. There's a lot of them that don't.
A lot of
know
agents?
A lot of agents don't know social media, and I know a lot of their companies are pushing it upon them to learn that stuff. But there's a big disconnect. I just did some work in Louisiana. I'm not going to tell you the name of the Medicare provider, but the agents, their boss was pushing them all to post videos or wherever they go, to post on YouTube. And a lot of them didn't understand it, didn't know how to do it. I'm like, man, that's amazing.
What's the average age in Louisiana, you think, for an agent? Are they younger? Are they older?
Probably about between 38 and 43. I think that's pretty much the range.
That's not old. I thought you were gonna say like 60 or
no.
70.
I don't know. I run into most of them around that age, but I just guess they just can't. It's kind of, if you've never done anything like this, kind of hard to visualize. Okay, I need you to do a video. I need you to do some pictures of an event, and they don't understand how to hold a camera if we're holding it in landscape mode or 16:9, because there's a whole nother level to that as I've been working on developing my videos. The right format for TikTok is different than the format for YouTube.
Correct.
So if you want your video just to be the full screen of everything, you got to be in 16:9 unless you have it landscape. But if you have it landscape, when you put it on TikTok, it's going to come small.
Yeah,
so you have to know those different denominations for your screens to really make a difference and have the right type of engagement. Hashtags are everything, the right hashtags, and there's a lot of stuff, and that's why ChatGPT is very good for that. It can bring you forth to bring you the right of things, and a lot of people aren't familiar with that as well.
Damn,
but that's a whole nother...
I would imagine that age they would be familiarized with social media, because I'm 36 and
right.
I'm not like super familiarized with it, but I have a good idea of how to use it. And you mentioned the camera angles and the 16:9.
That is an art.
Squares.
That is an art. So there's a great app that a lot of people use now, CapCut. Yeah. CapCut makes it a lot easier because it brings your music, you can bring in your effects and everything, which is awesome, of course. But then a lot of people still don't know about that. And it's just amazing. Some people go on social media just to view things. They don't go on there to do things for themselves or to promote their business. And that's a big disconnect with a lot of people in the healthcare industry.
So what's the YouTube channel? So I'll put it in the description.
Okay, so it's youtube.com/@TDM Technologies.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the videos. I was engaged in some of the videos, and I liked a couple of them, and I subscribed and all that good stuff. So tell us, how did you end up? I know you started the business down in Miami and Broward, right? So how did you end up coming up here? Like, how did you market yourself up here and all the other places, and you kept going up and up and up and up? Well, the word spread quickly, man.
It's very interesting because what I use as a backdrop is my social media. So I started posting every class. I put that upon my staff. Post every picture, any video of any class you do, and I can use that for engagement. And one of the biggest companies found me on LinkedIn. And so because of LinkedIn, I was able to lock down like 20 classes a month with one healthcare company, just like that.
Really?
Just like that, just by my social media presence. And I knew seniors are everywhere. Obviously, Florida is one of the biggest states as it relates to the senior community. And I know that why keep yourself in 3 counties when you can be in 50 counties? So I just started from Palm Beach on Martin County. Then I went out west with Naples and Fort Myers, and now we got Tampa, you got Newport Richey, you have Tallahassee, Pensacola, Jacksonville. So I'm in all of those places. I'm in 50 counties now in regards to that.
So when did you realize that you're like, oh man, I can't do all these by myself? Like, when was that point where you're like, I have to start hiring, I have to start teaching the people, or I have to start hiring trainers in order to teach these classes because I no longer can be in 18 different counties?
It took me about 6 months when I started the business to realize that there was another Medicare Advantage healthcare center that had 20 centers, and they wanted me to do classes in 20 centers in Dade and Broward County. And I had like 2 months to get it together. So I had to hire like 15 people, and I had 2 months to do that. Yes.
So if you don't mind me asking, how did you fund that?
There's a lot of different resources. Facebook is a good resource, as well as Indeed. So I put together my job description, and I just posted it in all these different venues. I passed it on to a lot of people that I know, and then before long, it just happened. I guess it's a blessing that I have the ability to put something out there that people want to do. I have some former nurses that work for me. I have some healthcare, a lot of nurses, because they're very patient. They're very patient with the senior community. And a lot of them LPNs and people that work they work shifts and stuff. So they have time to do these different things. I have some former teachers that work for me as well.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Then I have a couple of college students as well. You can find it because they're really doing something that makes a difference. Teaching a senior. All of them have grandparents, and in some instances they have parents that are always asking for help for a variety of different things.
That's my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom wants to know how do you hook up the Gmail? How do you do this? What's my password for this? You set it up for me. Oh man.
And see, that's the thing. And that is the missing element. Initially, when you want to help your mom, you say, okay, I'll be there for mom. But the more and more she asks you, the more frustrated you get. And so that's where we come in, because we know you're frustrated, you're trying to do things yourself, and this is an opportunity for them to get the kind of help that they need. And, there's a couple of competitors. There's one young gentleman, he's probably going to be watching, but he came along after me, and he actually took a couple of my places initially, but I wasn't worried about that because that helped me expand quite a bit more. But he's got out of that part of the industry, and now he has an AI tool. Seniors can text this AI prompt, and it will give them instructions on how to do certain things. But the problem with that is missing the personal element. You don't have, seniors are more old school. They want somebody to sit there with them to help them. They don't want to be reading and looking. They want somebody that can help them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's a fact, and that's an element that in our business and on my side, we see that a lot, and everybody worries about, people calling them on the phone to try to enroll them.
Right.
And I'm like, the retention on that is just terrible.
That's
right. At the end
right.
of the day, they want somebody that they can call on and somebody's going to pick up the phone.
That's right.
Not call a 1-800 number.
There you go.
And then get transferred and jumped around.
Personal
and so they get frustrated, and then they hang up. Then their question never gets answered.
And that's why we like the face-to-face element, whether we have a class of 350 people, if I had a class that large, or as a group of like 10, 15, 20 people, it doesn't really matter. They're getting that personal attention that they want. It means everything.
So talk a little bit about what are some of the material. I know about the material that you cover on there, but tell the people who are listening and watching, what type of material do you cover? Like, where do you start? What's the end goal? Is there like a series of classes or what?
Okay, so we have a series of 12 core classes that we cover. Obviously, the biggest problem with the senior community, or seasoned individuals, as I call them, are the smartphones, whether it's the iPhone or an Android, because everyone has one. You walk down the street, drive down the street, everyone's on the phone. So seniors have a lot of problems with that, understanding the philosophy behind it. So we start with the basics of the smartphone, teaching you to make sure that you know how to use the camera to take your selfies, how to send a text message, how to do a 3-way call, how to download apps, how to access the internet. All of those different components are in the first class. Then after that, we get into working with photos, backing up to the cloud. Once you take those photos, how do you back up your device to make sure in case you lose it or you break it, you can get another device. From there, we go into social media, telling them about the privacy settings in social media, how to post pictures, how to comment and like on things, and realize what the consequences are if you like or you comment on something. Then we got emailing, teaching how to email, downloading and scanning applications. We cover that as well. Another thing, ones that's really popular now, is the AI class, teaching them how to unlock the power of AI, how they can use that to benefit themselves. If they need some knowledge about a certain condition that they have, or they need to get some research on a certain medication that they have, they can know about the side effects. If they need to write a letter to their apartment complex or to a lawyer, anything like that is very formidable in AI. If they need to change the way they look in a picture, if they say they look better with a pink blouse on than a red blouse, we teach them how they can switch that as well.
What would you say is like the receptiveness level of the seniors? Do you find a lot of them, even though after you teach them, and I've been to your classes, I know you've done a couple of them for some of the buildings and people that I've brought you into. What is the receptiveness percentage, you think?
I think it's at least 50 to 60%.
Really?
Yeah, they're very receptive to it. They love it. They want to learn. The only thing about it is the repetition is the biggest thing for them. But initially when I started, my idea was to give every senior a packet of the class that I'm teaching. But obviously that's got really out of hand, because every lesson I have is like 30 to 40 or 50 pages. And one week came by where I had to print out like 30,000 pages for all of our classes. And at that point, the money, it came a little bit too expensive. But what I do now, I have each lesson on my website that they can download it if they wish to have it for themselves. or if whoever's sponsoring my event, they want to pay that price to pass it on to the seniors, because there's some providers I work with, they want me to send the email to them that they could print it out and give it to the seniors, because seniors like to touch things just like the newspaper. They like to see it, and they can retain and they can learn. It means everything to them, and so that's why I make most of my content available to them on my website that they can download for a nominal fee.
Okay. And what's the I know you do like personal one-on-one classes.
Right.
All right. So what's the rate of people that you get for those one-on-one classes after the
right now it's fairly low, but I think a lot of it has to do with my staff not pushing it enough, because there's a lot of opportunity, because they want it. They want that knowledge. I just have to have my staff push it a little bit more to let them know that we do have that available for them, because they're missing, they're not getting everything in the class. And they also come to our classes with their own little problems that they may have. They might have a problem where they don't know how to retrieve a accidentally erased text message or something like that, but the subject is on something totally different. So we tend to make time at the end of the class for that, but they also have other issues. So we want to be that one-stop shop where it comes to everything, whether in-person classes or call, because we do go do at-home service. We can come to you, fix your computer, or give you private lessons or anything in that regard.
Okay. What are some challenges that you faced in your business that you're in now?
Wow, getting good help. It's very hard to get really good staff that is connected, not only knowledge base, but being able to be patient with the seniors. I have a lot of people that say they know this and they know that about tech, and then when they see one of my classes, they say, "Oh my God, I didn't even know all of that stuff." And so it gets a little challenging there, but it's all about growing. You have to have a certain individual with a certain different type of level. I've had some trainers that say they know everything, but when we do a class, every page in the presentation that they're putting on the screen, they're reading it word for word. They're not doing any ad-libbing, adding stuff, and I pick up on that right away too.
Oh, so they don't do a good job at explaining.
Right. So, with seniors need things to be explained in the most bland way possible. They don't want you to, to get too techie with them, because they freeze up. So you don't talk to something that's really more so on their level that they can understand.
Yeah, because they came to a tech class because they're not techie.
Of course, that's really the idea behind. Now, I can't say this. I've had some classes where the seniors were very high tech, and some of my staff could not handle it, because a lot of them, when they can come back at you, say, "Okay, we already know this, but we want to know more." And then sometimes they get stuck. I've had a couple of instances like that. Of course, I can handle any level, regardless if they're beginner or advanced. And there's always a smart aleck in the group. And I like to pick on him, the one that swears he knows everything. So every question I'm asking him until I wear him out.
So where did you learn all this stuff? Is this just comes from the IT background? Because
IT background.
It's continuing education.
Always continuing education. There's always changes. I have quite a few subscriptions to a lot of all the different, with Windows as well as Android, as well as iOS. I have quite a few refresher courses in that, because things are always changing. Like now with Apple, they're coming out with the iOS 26. I've been beta testing. I'm a beta tester for Apple, so I've been beta testing their software for the last 6 months. Oh, so nice. I get a lot of the stuff before everyone else gets it, so I can tinker with it, play with it. So that also helps my knowledge too.
Okay. Yeah, I think you showed us you showed me the camera in one of the classes. It looked a little different for the iOS 26 than it did for the one that I had now.
And I used to do tech support for Apple. I forgot that too. I used to do a little bit of that independently out of my office.
So in your opinion, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, who's better, Android or Apple?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about.
Be transparent, though.
If we're talking about security, iPhone is the winner in regards to security. A close second, however, is the Google Pixel. On that Pixel line has a lot more security than the standard Android series, because obviously Google does own Android. But you do have two different sources: open source for Android, closed source for iPhone. iPhone is a lot more secure. But if you're talking about things like cloud space, Android beats iPhone all day. Android gives you 15 gigabytes of cloud as opposed to 5 for Apple. That's a big trending point. If you want to download any non-standard apps, you can only do that on the Android. You can't do that on the iPhone unless you jailbreak the iPhone, and that's not even easy to do. So, it depends on what we're talking about. Price-wise, you're a little bit closer than it used to be. The thing that's different about Android, you have so many different models, sizes, form factors and everything, which makes Android a formidable option if you just like variety in the way that your devices look, as opposed to the standardized iPhone. Word is next year they're coming out with a foldable iPhone. So that's going to change things, yes. That's coming up down the trend, yes.
In some instances, it seems like Apple follows Android instead of Android.
It does, because it wants to be able to compete and offer more things than the standard iPhone. Things have changed quite a bit from Steve Jobs. Obviously, when him coming out with that original iPhone, I think Mr. Cook is doing some things to try to make things a little bit, to be a little bit more common between the two devices. Actually, Google and Apple have worked together to do quite a few different things, like RCS. That new messaging platform was set up to compete against Zuckerberg and WhatsApp. So they've merged together.
RCS, what's that?
That's Rich Communication Services. It's a more formalized platform that allows iPhones and Androids to communicate with each other. It's an encrypted application because, iMessage is encrypted. SMS is not encrypted, so they developed RCS to allow you to do that. And also, you can do a lot of the Apple emoticons with Android devices with RCS. So if you're sending that little heart to someone, they'll be able to see it on the Android. Also, the read receipt option that iPhone has, that you can see if somebody's read your message, that's also available on the Android as well now. The only requirements that Android users have to have the Google Messages installed on their Android phone, and iPhone just have to have iOS 18. So just about all of the carriers are using that now.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, man. What are some crazy stories that you've had in your tech class?
Well, there's been some seniors that call me 4 o'clock in the morning after class, remembering what we talked about in the class, and they figured it out. And, oh, Mr. Mack, I learned what you taught us today in the class, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, okay, I understand. And, that happens. Oh, no. And then sometimes they fight and argue because too many people are talking in the class. You get some people fussing and arguing about that. Then I've had some political fights in the class. There were some Democrats and some Republicans, and we were talking about a subject, and someone made a comment about the current president, and somebody got mad at that. And man, just all kind of little things you get in those environments.
How does a tech class become a political
debate? Think what happened is we were talking about, I want to say we were talking about YouTube, and everyone's YouTube page is different. And I think my YouTube page came up with something that I guess the Democratic president was talking about. It was a picture, a video, and then somebody said the other guy's name, and then it was all of this stuff, and it just happens.
Oh, my God. How did you handle that?
Well, I just said this is not going to be a political class. And then I've had some home visit with people that were obviously of different political parties than I was from, and then they make comment about the other president, and I said, the other candidate, other party, and I'm just quiet. I said, I'm down the middle. I've been to people's houses where they have handshakes with the current president, whether it's a Republican or it's a Democrat. And when you see that, you get an idea of where they are. So I just sit there, be quiet. I don't have any comments anywhere or another.
Man.
One of my biggest clients lives right down the street from Mar-a-Lago. And you know who's the president there, whose house that is. What? So I go to her house every other month to visit her to get her tech straight. So, yeah.
How did you get her as a client?
I think I did one class somewhere, and somebody referred.
Really? Now, as far as like clients go, not classes, because I know your referral base it's got to be crazy. I mean, everybody knows who Torrence Mack is. Oh, the first time I saw you was on LinkedIn.
Right.
And I don't remember who I reached out to. I think it might have been to Orlando.
Okay.
And I was like, man, this guy seems great. Like, we got to figure out how to get him. Right, and then I know somebody else reached out to you, and then that's how you ended up over here in Central Florida. So, But individually, do you get a lot of referrals?
Well, I do. There was a time when I had a whole bunch of referrals, but unfortunately, when COVID happened, I lost a lot of clients because of COVID, whether relocating or going to see their maker or whatever. But that changed a lot of things with COVID, obviously. But yeah, I have clients in Palm Beach, Dade, Broward, Central Florida, this area here. Well, up in Pensacola, Alabama. I have clients all over in Atlanta. So what they do is when they know that I'm coming there, they'll go ahead and reserve me. So, okay, you'll be here next week. I want to see you next week. And that's why I developed that new saying on my social media, where in the world is Torrence? Because every week I'm at a different location. I'm never home. I'm on the road 5 days a week. Man. So I put that out there, letting everyone know where I am every week. And obviously I still post everywhere that my staff is during the week as well.
So how do you manage your time, man? Because it seems like you're everywhere. Like, that, like the slogan you just said, where in the world is a Torrence Mack? How do you manage it?
It's difficult, but I try to just put all of my classes in a certain area together. Case in point, Wednesday I got to be in Tampa. So there's another event in Newport Richey. So, that's pretty close. So I make sure all of my stuff is clamped together pretty much. But it always doesn't work that way because Thursday I have to be in Jacksonville. Then Saturday I have to be in Tennessee. So stuff like that happens every now and then. But you try really hard to let people know whenever I'm in the Bayou area, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, they know in Mississippi and Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, they all know I'm coming for that week. So they know to book all of the classes for me that week. So that's when I'm only working with one provider. They know we're going to book Torrence 10 classes in that region in 1 week. So they know those states are so close together.
And how far in advance do you usually reserve those pockets of time?
If it's going to be for a whole week, I need at least a month in advance. Another carrier that I work with every third week of the month, I'm in North Florida, Pensacola, Tallahassee, Jacksonville. So they have that week reserved for me. And what I can do with that, since I know I'm up there, I can work with the other people in the area, whether it's in Alabama or if it's in South Georgia, I can work them into the equation as all. It takes a lot. Actually, I'm about to bring in an AI bot that's going to work with my scheduling to make sure that I'm everywhere. It's beneficial to me because I don't really like driving from, say, Tampa to Atlanta. That's a really haul, but I've done it many times. And if I get sleep, I have to sleep in the car and all that other kind of stuff, which I do regularly, by the way, for lodging, until I get my van. So I have a GoFundMe page out now to help me get my cargo van, which doubles as sleeping quarters as well as storage. A lot of my well-to-do seniors give me old technology devices that no longer want. Say they bought a new Mac, they give me their old Mac or their new old iPad, and then I take it to a senior somewhere else that doesn't have one. So really? I get a lot of that. Right now, I probably have about 25 devices between laptops, tablets, iPhones, Android devices that were donated to my nonprofit, which is called Teaching Seniors Tech. And with that, I'm able to go to these locations and people that can't afford these devices, I give it to them.
Yes. That's great. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, I'll be sure. So that's a website, or what is that?
I'm a Teaching Seniors Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a website, Teaching SRS Tech. No, it's teachsrstech.org. It's my nonprofit organization that's set up for donations. Right now, my main donation is toward the van, but they can also contribute cash, or they can contribute old devices that they think other seniors.
So all the links are on that page.
Yes, everything's on that page, right?
Man, that's awesome, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I got the for-profit side, TDM Tech, tdmtechpc.com, and teachsrstech.org. So I have those two sites out there.
I'm going to make sure to put that all in the description. So, people who want to donate or have a tablet or something from their kid or from their parent or from themselves that want to donate.
Yeah, it's amazing how my following works. One of my trainers did a class a couple of weeks ago at a location we hadn't been in like 5 years. So there's a lady in the audience, and she texted me directly because I've done some home visit where she said, I knew this was your business. And then my staff was talking about me getting the van. She said, I'll donate money to your nonprofit to get your van. And she said, come by my house Saturday. I went by her house Saturday, and she gave me a nice size donation towards my van.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they said, I'll donate you. I don't want you to keep sleeping in that car. Let's get you in advance so you have some room to stretch out. So
how much miles do you have in your car?
Oh, well, I got the most recent car. I must have bought it in March, and I bought it in March. It had like 40,000. Now it's got about 100 and something thousand. I put 60,000 miles on it within definitely in the last 4 to 5 months. Because I'm on the road every single week.
Stop.
Every single week on the road.
60,000 since March?
Yep. No
doubt
perspective,
we're at the end, not even at the end of August, almost at the end of August.
Yes. I've been to Louisiana. I've been to Louisiana twice. I've been to Mississippi and Alabama. I've been there 4 times. I've been to Tennessee 3 times. I've been to Georgia 5 times. It's like every week I'm on the road. Yeah.
I thought I drove a lot.
No, it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
I drive probably about like 25 to 30,000 miles a year.
Yeah, well, no.
That's you by far.
And before that, I had a smart car. You remember my smart car?
Oh, you don't have that anymore. Oh,
No, that one burnt out. The engine burnt out in that one. So
how many miles did you have on that? Because you had that one for a while.
I put over 100 on that one. Yeah, I put over 100. That one broke down on me in January. So I was driving that thing hard for like 2 years. Yeah.
So cars in this stage in the game, they're like shoes for you.
Oh yeah.
As soon as they get worn out, it's like, all right,
you got to do something with it. So actually, the car I'm driving now is a little Chevy Spark, and that one is great on gas. Even though it's bigger than my smart car, I can sleep in it a little more comfortably. But I'm in the process of getting the van. I should have the van within a few months, and then I'm going to give that vehicle to one of my staff in Palm Beach so he can do a lot more home visits and stuff with it. So that's really the goal.
Are you going to wrap the Spark?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely wrap the Spark. And I wanted to wrap the smart car, but if I ever get it fixed, I'll wrap it. I still have it.
Oh, you still have it?
I need to put a new engine in it, though. The engine burned out.
Is it worth it?
I don't know. I have to look at that. See how it works out.
Man, because I think they're going to charge you about $1,000 just for.
But a lot of people, what they do with those smart cars, they put motorcycle engines in them.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
I've seen quite a few videos.
And it's a cool car. And you can wrap it and everything, and just use it for local. Because now the idea. Parked the van in Orlando, which was my staging area for my prior van. Actually, there's a parking area on the airport Orlando, hop on the Brightline, go home for the weekend, get on the Brightline, come back up, hop in the van and go wherever. And this was my staging area for my van.
Man, so you must be like a frequent passenger on the Brightline?
Man, I was on it every week for a while when I had the van and everything. But yeah, that's the thing. Those 3.5 hours make such a difference because you have the opportunity to do some work. Because if you're driving all the time, you neglect your work. Which is something that, you can't neglect the work. So when I used to get on the train going home, I would do work. And then the Sunday evening coming back, I'd be doing work. So it was a great opportunity to do work and relax and enjoy.
Nice. How is that ride? We haven't been on it yet.
Oh, it's a great ride. Very, very comfortable.
There's 2 classes, right?
There's 2 classes. You can get the premium, which is the high end, where you can get unlimited alcohol. And then they have the smart car, where you have to pay for the alcohol. Obviously, the premium's better. The seats are bigger. You have more room, and that's the way to roll if you can. But the prices are going up so much. I remember I did a post on LinkedIn about one of my seniors talking about the Brightline, and I posted it on LinkedIn. And the president of automation for Brightline sent me a text message saying, "Anytime you need anything, let me know." So every now and then, I call upon him to give me passes and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Man, you have to share those passes with me, man. I'm trying to take the wife out there. Her birthday's coming up. Just hint. So how many layers of TDM are there? You mentioned you got your senior classes. You have your one-on-ones. You have the non-profit.
Right.
Is there any other layers to it that...
Well, actually, I'm about to add another layer, which is for the hybrid classes. What happened during COVID, I'll never forget the day when they shut everything down. I lost 100 classes in one day. All of my sponsors pulled out. It was just terrible.
It was a bloodbath.
So I started to try to build up a Zoom presence, and I had to go one by one. What we used to do, we used to have a meeting at the community's clubhouse for 1 hour, bring your devices. Everybody was masked up. I would sit there and hook up all the devices the way that they need to be. I said, the class is tomorrow. So we'd be in and out. Then the next day, people started logging in. And before long, I had 100 to 200 people in my Zoom room. And once I started getting that, then the sponsors wanted to be in the room with us. And that's how I was able to get that following back based on doing those Zoom classes. So when everything came back, I stopped doing the Zoom as much. So I want to get back into doing that. And I want to bring forth another element. Say I'm in Tennessee doing a class, but you have somebody in Georgia that wants to see the class. So I'm putting it on my website that they can log in for a nominal fee, and they can click in and see me live doing the class. And also they have ability to see the recordings. So they'll be able to see the class actually happening via Zoom, and they'll be able to get their lesson that they want.
So is there a subscription service for them to see previous classes that have been held?
Right. So I'm putting that in place now. So it's September. I say by October I should have it. They can pay a subscription to get unlimited access, or they can do it one-off. They have an option.
Oh, that's awesome.
You have a whole library of all the classes. I can even break it down by trainer. Obviously, most people want to see me, but if they don't, they want to see other trainers. Other trainers will be available.
Team Mac is the truth, man. You don't want to see anybody else. I mean, not to knock any other trainers. Let me back up. Never mind. Are you able to share how much that fee is going to cost?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. It's still a fee that I'm thinking about. I wanted to be cost effective for seniors because obviously that's just what I do. And that's the reason why when I started a business, I didn't think that any senior should have to pay for any tech knowledge. So that's why all the Medicare Advantage companies I deal with sponsor my events. And that's the point, that the senior shouldn't have to pay that. So I'm going to make it formidable enough for them.
That's awesome. And I didn't realize that there was so many layers to it. I just knew the classes. And then the last class that we did a couple weeks ago, I realized that you were doing the one-on-one.
Right.
So that's the first I learned about that. I feel like I heard you speak about that, but I wasn't really like aware that you were doing that.
Definitely.
And then now all the other layers come into it. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's hard work. It's when you're up 3 o'clock in the morning, you have to think of something to keep the lights on. So you have to come up with another thing to do. What's the newest hot thing? What can I do to be relevant? And when it comes to seniors, I want to be the go-to guy. That's really my aim. And, you know, every now and then there's a youngster come along trying to do what I do, think they're going to take over the world. But they don't last long, and I'm still consistent, so I don't worry about it.
How many impersonators have you ran across so far? I know you said there was one, but how many have you ran across since 2017?
Probably about four companies. Of course, you have the big companies like the Oats, which are sponsored by ARP. I've done some events for ARP myself. At the Atlanta Speedway, and Atlanta, I think it was a class of like 500 people. I just spoke on some tech tips, and I did something at ARP in Louisiana. There was an event that one of the carriers are sponsored, but I'm really trying to get in with them. Every now and then they offer me a little project or something like that, but those are the big kicks on the box, Oats, because they're obviously sponsored by ARP. There's probably like maybe 3 or 4 that I've ever seen out there posting stuff, but they don't last long. You know, they think they're going to take over the world, but I think I just have a special place in this, and I don't see anybody taking me out.
Yeah, I think you have a good passion for it, man. I mean, I think it shows you're very patient with how you teach them. A lot more patient than I am usually with some of the seniors that approach me about that stuff, because I don't have all the answers. I'm not an expert like yourself, right? But you definitely, I think you have like a knack for it, because whenever I see you do your presentation, and if they have individualized questions, because in my realm, I can kind of generalize some of the information that I give them,
right,
for the insurance purposes. But even during the presentation, sometimes you take the time and you go to that individual person and you're like, here, let me grab your phone.
That means everything.
Exactly. It means something to them. But then, subconsciously, you're teaching everybody else as well.
At the same time.
So it's individualized,
right?
But everybody else is getting like a little nugget of knowledge on, how to take a good selfie,
right,
or how to apply a filter,
right,
or, what the 16:9, all that stuff means, how to scan a QR code, things like that. Because all of them have so many different questions.
Right. I mean, if you look at the industry, particularly with the healthcare, this is about to be your time of the year. They're going to be bombarded with so many different options. They need to understand how to do a QR code. They need to know about all this thing, how to block a call, and all this other kind of stuff that's out there. And I know this is your part of the year, and this is usually my busiest part of the year, because just because you guys are out there, a lot of you guys want me out there to do classes with them. So this is the hot part of the year for both of us, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Is this the busiest part of the year for you too? Or you stay busy all year round?
I stay busy all year round, but there's just a little bit more of an influx this time of the year. And then every year more and more people hear about me. And, you guys have a lot of people that go by the wayside. So it's like people doing insurance. Next month they're doing realty. So it changes so much. So you're always meeting new people. And one thing I did notice about your industry, a lot of your providers, other agents don't talk about who they have available. So like, say, for example, I meet an agent with ABC. Well, I shouldn't say ABC. This is CDF Insurance Agency, and I'm doing a lot of work with them in Palm Beach County. So I post a video on LinkedIn, and then somebody with CDF is out of Virginia. They say, man, I never even heard of you. I said, why haven't you heard of me when you work for CDF Insurance Company? Because a lot of the agents don't talk to each other. And I just think that's something I don't understand that. I'm not
really?
Yeah, that happens a lot. So a lot of people don't know about me because the agent didn't talk about me. I said, I've been working with this guy for 5 years. You've been working with us for 5 years and I'm an approved vendor? I said, yeah. And it's like, man, I didn't even know that.
I guess I can understand in different agencies, but within
Right.
the same
Within the same
agency
agency, right?
seems a little bit
Right.
crazy.
It does seem a little bit crazy, and I'm actually going through something now with one other Medicare clinic provider. I do classes for them in Jacksonville and West Florida. So I had a meeting with the same company in Georgia and Alabama, and they never even heard of me. And they do meetings every Tuesday. It's just so weird. And so I don't understand why they don't talk about me there. So I had to personally reach out and find out who these people were to let them know what I do for a living. And they didn't even know.
Was their assumption, was the people here locally, their assumption was maybe that you didn't go up that far?
No, they know I'm everywhere. I just think they didn't feel that they needed to broadcast it. I don't understand why. It's just another activity that it can provide to seniors in a different region. But it wouldn't benefit them because they wouldn't be making any more money bringing me there. I would be making more money. But I've just felt if you have a good service, you should spread it amongst everyone.
Why not share
Yeah.
it?
Why not share it?
Yeah. Wow, that's kind of odd. I mean, my agents know about you.
Right.
I mean, you know Ben, obviously.
Of course.
You know Ben and Christian and a couple of other ones that I've spread the word around.
But it's all about timing for you guys too. You have to find the right location and find the way
Correct.
that's going to give you the most traction. Because I know in the industry it's about traction, engagement, opportunities, and all these different type of things. Because if you leave it to the seniors, y'all they have me at that same location for 10 weeks.
Oh yeah,
They'll do it, and
oh
they'll milk your
for
budget all.
sure. Oh, for sure. That's why I partner up with all the local doctors' offices. So.
Oh, there you go, precisely.
But okay, cool. So what is the next 5-10 years hold for TDM Technologies and Torrence Mack?
Well, my son's in 10th grade, so I figure 11, 12, and it goes for about 6 years. I think about 6 years, I think I'm going to find a way to get my son involved in taking it over. But I think that I would probably I'm in 6 states now. I would hate to say it, but I'm probably going to bring in about 4 more states. I want to go back. I used to be in North Carolina, South Carolina before. I haven't been there in a while. But I like to do Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and maybe Texas, possibly. Even though Texas is a big state. I've been trying to get in Texas for about 2 years. But that's such a big state. And the problem is when you get in Texas, you're going to have to do Arkansas, which is right above it. And, it could just keep going on and going. I have people requesting me in Phoenix, Arizona, New Jersey, all these different places. It's just so hard. The money's got to be right.
So word does spread then.
It does spread.
So, I mean, even though it hasn't in some ways, it really has in some other ways.
Listen, social media is a great tool. If you have a business and you're not using social media to your advantage, you're missing out on a lot of business. That's where it is. That's how I got discovered with most of my content. Most of my businesses be through social media. LinkedIn, Facebook.
LinkedIn was how I found you.
Yeah, and that's where it is. So if you're in business, that's the place that you definitely need to be. You need to learn how to get there. If you need help, you can definitely call me to help you or get any other person that can help you drive your business. AI is a good teacher of that and creative portion of that as well to get your business out there because social media is where it's at.
That's amazing, man. So you consult with social media management as well?
Oh yeah, I've done quite a few classes for some of the providers. Actually, 2 providers I've done that for before.
Really?
The social media management class. Now I want to go towards the AI consultant part of it because once you get that nucleus and that platform in place for them, it's just like a turnkey operation. That's where I'm trending now regarding that.
Man, so you don't seem to want to stop anytime soon.
Oh, no, man, stop. Just want to get a little bit smarter.
Of course.
I don't want to drive from here to Texas by tomorrow. That's happened quite a few times. I'm trying to avoid
You got to leave now.
I try to avoid that as much as possible. But I try to triangulate everything in a way that it's not so stressful. The last, say, 2 or 3 weeks has been kind of rough. I'm driving here, trying to get back and forth. But, yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Just got to hit the gym a little bit more, work out a little bit more. That's all. Just to stay motivated.
Oh man, that's an awesome story, man. I really, really appreciate you for coming on and taking the time and kind of sharing, the challenges that you've had and the growth that you've seen.
Right.
How many employees are you up to now?
Oh,
trainers?
Man, now I have 6 now. I have 6. I had 15. I was up to 15. I'm now doing it down to 6. One of my very good trainers that I really had a great relationship with, he ended up going into another career. It kind of upset me, but that's how it is. You have to listen. You have to turn. With business, things can change in a matter of minutes. If you're on top of the world tomorrow, you're at the bottom the next day. So you just have to make sure that first of all, you have to look for the signs of possibility of things happening. Things are going to always happen. Things cannot be perfect all the time. And you have to be able to bend but not break.
Gotcha. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. If you can leave us with one piece of advice for anybody, any entrepreneur that's trying to start a business, that's trying to grow their business, what's one little piece of advice that you can give somebody?
You have to be very patient, and there's only one of you. You can't, like my uncle, he's in heaven somewhere. He said you can have 7 guns, but you only can shoot one at a time.
Oh my gosh. That's a crazy saying.
Yes, it is. You can shoot one at a time. So choose wisely.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome advice, man. Well, thanks again for coming on. Appreciate your time. I know you're a very, very busy man. So where in the world is Torrence Mack heading to next?
Oh, well, actually, I came from Miami this morning. I drove up here to do a class. I have to go back to Miami tomorrow. I have a really big meeting tomorrow with an organization that's going to give me a lot more business. Like I really need that, but a lot more business. And then Wednesday, I'm in Newport Richey in Tampa. Thursday, I'm in Jacksonville. And Friday and Saturday, I'm in Tennessee. I have a big event Saturday in Tennessee.
Are you driving up to Tennessee?
Yes. I have a big event on Saturday at the Mount Zion Church in Nashville, Tennessee. Last year, we had 350 people show up. I think we're going to have about 250 this year.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm doing a class on social media and online scams. Yeah, I'm there twice a year, so it's a big event.
Oh man, so they're anxious. They're waiting for T-Mac to come in.
They're ready
and drop some gems.
They are.
That's awesome, man. Well,
Yes.
Thank you for coming out here and dropping some gems for us. And stay tuned for see where in the world Torrence Mack is. Your socials are. I know you gave your YouTube earlier. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is TDM Tech PC. My LinkedIn is TDM Tech PC as well. And as well as Facebook, TDM Tech PC.
Okay. All right. We'll look for him in all those platforms. All those are also going to be tagged in the description. So if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give us a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Blueprints Podcast.